Today on Common Sense Clashing, we're going to take a look at the dragon attack strategy for Town Hall 7. And if you have some Town Hall 7s in your clan that learn how to pull off this attack, they should be able to 3-star most mid-level Town Hall 8s in Clan Wars. Hey everyone, this is John. Today we're going to be talking about one of the best attack strategies, one of the most fun attack strategies in Clash of Clans, and that is the all dragon attack at Town Hall 7. And you may have heard this referred to as either all dragon or Dragloon, but today we're going to talk about level 2 dragons and just how powerful they can be for your clan in Clan Wars if your teammates and your clanmates can learn how to use them. Here's a few steps to follow, starting with the Dragloon army build. The army you're going to want to build is 10 dragons, 3 lightning spells, and 4 max loons that are going to go in your CC. So 10 dragons, 3 lightning spells, and 4 max balloons. Those black balloons with the skull and crossbones on them, those will go in your clan castle. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to look at the air defense levels on the base you're looking to attack. So you're going to scout the base out. If the base has level 5 air defenses, that's a really good base. That's a good target for you to look at and consider attacking with level 2 dragons. If those air defenses though are level 6 or higher, you should really take a good look and ensure that you will be able to get to those air defenses very quickly with your dragons. The strategy that you always want to think about is how quickly can I get to those air defenses so that my dragons have the most health possible when they reach them. The third thing you want to look at is the overall design of the base, and what I mean by that is where are the air defenses in relation to the air sweeper and to the storages. The air sweeper will really blow those dragons around, and so what you want to do is you want to send the dragons in from the backside. You want to make sure that the air sweeper does not push them off course unless there's an air defense that's at the very edge of that air sweeper's range and you think it's worth the risk to try to hit it. Then in that case it's probably okay or even advisable sometimes. But for the most part, generally speaking, you want to approach the air sweeper from the back, and that way it really neutralizes any effect that it can have on the attack. The storages are also going to be something you want to look at and consider, and that is because whenever a dragon hits them, it will slow that dragon down tremendously. Those storages are among the highest hit point buildings in the entire game, and so it takes quite a while for one single dragon to burn through one of those storages. So you want to look for the paths that the dragon will take that will take it past those storages and maybe bypass them on their way to the air defense. If, however, you have to go through them, make sure you load up 2 to 3 dragons on each of those storages, and that way you can take them down very quickly as you're making your way to the air defenses. One note on dragons as you're watching this replay unfold is that dragons treat buildings almost like breadcrumbs. They will follow those breadcrumbs around the base, more or less going from one building to the next closest building from the one that they had just destroyed. On a base like this, if the dragons had been put down in one spot on the outside, they would have gone in a circle around the base because the buildings were so compact around the edges. But because they were put down in a row or a line along the northwest side of the base, the dragons were able to destroy the buildings almost simultaneously along the edge, which leaves the buildings in the first enclosed compartment to the northwest as the next nearest breadcrumbs for those dragons to then go and attack. Now I'm going to rewind for just a second here because I want you to see the drop order and the strategy for how the dragons are put down, and it's a process called funneling. Funneling is really the process, simply put, of removing the breadcrumbs for the dragons to pursue. And so if you look at the Barbarian King there, almost at 1 o'clock on the map, what he is doing is he is actually put down strategically to remove the buildings along the outside of that base so that there are no breadcrumbs for the dragons to follow. And then the dragons were put down starting at 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock and then working their way in toward one another. And that way, as the buildings went down, they went down all together towards the center and the dragons were able to fly into that second level. And so that's a really great funnel right there. Balloons, on the other hand, are designed to only target defenses until all of the defenses are destroyed, and then they'll target other buildings. Now, what some people don't realize about a dragon and balloon attack is that there is a timing to it. You want the balloons to stay behind the dragons until the air defenses have begun to engage the dragons. The reason for that is The balloons don't have as many hit points as the dragons do. And so if the dragons can begin to take some fire from the air defenses, it will let those balloons slip a little bit deeper into the base and hopefully take out some of the air defenses and other defending towers that are in the area. If the balloons pass the dragons too quickly in the attack, the balloons will take the fire and they will go down very fast. However, if the balloons get there too late, the dragons will just get beaten up by all those air defenses. Hopefully, if you followed all of those steps, you'll have a few dragons left at the end of the attack that have close to full health, if not completely full. And right now what you're seeing is the end of Spec's attack, and he had a few storages that were giving, I think, a few guys a little bit of concern as they were watching this live. But sure enough, that dragon was able to get through it, hit that final archer tower, take it out, and all it was from there was just a simple cleanup. And Spec pulled off a really good 3-star attack against a Town Hall 8 that was really well ranked. I mean, Spec was ranked 14 in that particular war, and we were pretty evenly matched, and this defender was ranked number 8, and so that's a solid 3-star attack by Spec. 10 dragons, 3 lightning spells, and 4 CC loons. This next attack is from Stranglehold, and Stranglehold, right away, he sees it to the north and south of the Town Hall are 2 level 5 air defenses, and then to the left, over at 9 o'clock, is a level 2. So he decides to take out the top air defense, and then he begins the funnel at 9 o'clock and at 12 o'clock. And so again, the idea with the dragons is you create a nice big wide funnel. For him, he starts at the very top and at the very far left. And then what you'll see him do is he puts dragons down along the northwest side, and he starts at 9 and he works his way in, and then he starts at 12 and he works his way in. And what this does is it helps those dragons move their way straight in. Now, the one thing you might not be able to see, but right next to the clan castle, there's actually a 3x3 space where he's about to pop his balloons in, and they're going to target the air defense that's right there to the south of the Town Hall. And it was a little bit of a risk for him to do that, but as you can see, right now, the air defense to the south gets taken out, and the dragons at 9 o'clock are just hammering that level 2 air defense. And there are no air defenses left now on this base. I mean, this base has completely lost all of its air defense capabilities. He has a couple of archer towers to deal with and a couple of Teslas to deal with, but he has so many dragons still up in the air that are flying around. There are no major storages that are going to be slowing them down from hitting these remaining defenses. It is going to be a really easy cleanup 3-star attack. And there's that last Tesla on the inside, that goes down. The Town Hall is targeted, that goes down. And really from here on out, I'm just going to speed up the film because he nailed this base. I mean, it is done. Again, 10 level 2 dragons, 3 lightnings, and 4 CC loons. This next attack is by Red Tigress, and look at right away the position of the air sweeper. It's covering the 3 air defenses to the left of it. Right there in the core of the base, and she's going to drop 3 lightning spells on the far left air defense, and that way she can come in from the top right with those dragons. And watch the funnel. She's going to start at 3 o'clock and 12 o'clock and just create a really wide funnel, work her way in with those dragons towards the middle, and then as those dragons get closer and closer, you're going to see those CC loons coming in right at 3 o'clock. There they are right there. And she is going to try to get them to pass the dragons as those air defenses are now targeting those dragons. Watch the loons come in. They're going to help the dragons clean up this the remaining 2 level 5 air defenses. In fact, I think one of them is a level 4. Yeah, one of them, the top one at 12 o'clock is a level 4 air defense. But the balloons are right on top of it, and there it goes. And the balloons, I think she might even have a balloon that makes it all the way through this attack. But she has so many dragons now that are still up. And again, these are level 2 dragons, guys. Level 2 dragons. If you're Town Hall 7, there is no excuse that you have not to be engaging some Town Hall 8s. She pretty much demolished this base. There's not really anything left that's going to stop her, except for maybe that, one archer tower. But there's nothing at all that's going to do any significant damage to all of the dragons she has left. There's so many dragons left at the end of this attack. It's almost ridiculous. And so that's a really easy 3-star attack by Tigress. Great job. Moving to another war, we came across this base, and this base really gave us some challenge for our Town Hall 7 level 2 dragons. In fact, we even had a Town Hall 8 with level 3 dragons try to attack this and failed. But Red Tigress and Speck and also Stranglehold tried this base and could not get it. And it was 8-Ball who finally came through and got the 3-star for level 5 and defeated this guy's base. But it was a really great base. As you can see, it has level 5 air defenses, but it also, the thing that this base has that we haven't shown yet is that all of the archer towers on this base are level 9 archer towers, and they have a lot of point defense that comes and hits the dragons, which I think was what was causing us the most problems as we were attacking the base. But his funnel begins at 9 o'clock. 8-Ball had the benefit of seeing the replay, so he knew that there was a hidden Tesla there. And then, of course, at 6 o'clock, he works that dragon up, and then he dumps a bunch of his dragons rapid fire right there on the lower left-hand side of the base, trying to get them to bull rush in as quickly as possible. And once the enemy CC comes out, he drops his balloons, and the balloons are going to target that air defense on the upper left, and then they're going to work their way around the southern part of the core of the base, taking out 2 Teslas and that other air defense. And the reason they're able to do that is because all of those defenses are targeting the dragons right now, and the loons are able to go in and not really take too much damage. The last balloon that goes down actually takes out that Tesla right there. And so it was a really great use of his CC loons. And the dragons are now going around the bottom. He has 1 dragon that's going around the top. And the only other defense now on this base that's really going to give him a problem is the archer tower, that level 9 archer tower that is located at the north end of the base. And as his dragons are going around, he drops his barbarian king to try to eliminate some of those breadcrumbs, some of those buildings that might pull his dragons off course. And his barbarian king ends up going north. I'm not sure if he meant for him to turn up like he did, but I'll tell you, it worked out in the big picture, because as the archer is targeting that dragon that's up there on the north end, that dragon's going to die in a second, and the archer turns to the barbarian king and begins to target the barbarian king. The BK has so much health that for the rest of the raid, just about, that BK is just soaking up damage and letting the dragons, the 3 dragons that are left, work their way up to that archer tower. And so by the time that archer actually kills the barbarian king, those dragons are there ready to knock that tower down. And so there they go. And that was the end of the raid right there. And I'll tell you, 8-Ball, that was a great job. Big hats off to you on that raid. That was huge, and that was a great win for our clan, seeing those level 2 dragons do what they do best, and that is getting 3 stars on some Town Hall 8s. We've got 2 more attacks to show you. One more by Speck and one more by Stranglehold. This one by Speck is very interesting because if you look at the base layout, the air sweeper is really well protected. It's going to be hard to come at that from the other direction without getting really hammered by some defenses. And so Speck's going to choose to actually engage the air sweeper head on and try to lightning the air defense on the left. Now all the air defenses are level 4, but still when you're going against an air sweeper, a lot of things can happen. So what you're going to see is he's going to create a really big funnel. In fact, he's going to try to create really a funnel between 11 and almost 4 o'clock there. And he's going to work his way in, and then the loons will come in right around 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Once the gold storage is down, he's waiting to make sure that his dragons can get that and then move into the next level following those breadcrumbs. And once they're down, the loons should come in. There they are, right there. And he's going to try to make sure that he can hammer those defenses. Now the air sweeper is really pushing him back now. This is one of the reasons you typically do not recommend going against the air sweeper, is because it really delays and slows down the amount of damage that the dragons and balloons are doing. But right there, that's it. All the air defenses are down. He was able to maneuver his dragons in there really well, and the loons to make sure that he took those out. And if you notice, the air sweeper is still going, but he's about to get on that with those dragons down there. But there are still 2 archer towers and 2 Teslas that are going to be damaging all of the dragons that are coming in. And so it's really important that he gets through these remaining buildings as quickly as possible, and that way his troops cannot lose too much health. And right there they go. They come in on him, and once he gets these buildings down, that's it. I mean, it's a done deal. There's no other defenses now on this base that can actually stop him. And so that's a really solid 3-star attack. He went against the air sweeper. Now granted, the air defenses were only level 4, but still that was a very respectable attack by Spec. The last attack that I'm going to show you guys here is by Stranglehold, and this one was really impressive to me. Stranglehold took a look at this base. There are 2 level 6 air defenses. Okay, now keep in mind he's got he's a Town Hall 8 at this point, but he still has level 2 dragons. So he's looking at this base. There are 2 level 6 air defenses and 1 level 5 air defense on the right hand side, and the air sweeper is pointed down south. So naturally you're not going to want to come in from that side with your dragons, but he's going to try something here. He's going to lightning the lowest one, leaving a level 5 on the right and a level 6 on the left. And this is actually a strategy that Spec tried earlier in this war and he missed it. And I think the reason he missed it was he had one dragon that followed along the northwest side a bunch of those buildings as a breadcrumb, and ended up getting messed up, and he didn't get the dragons to come in. But watch what Stranglehold does here. He puts a dragon down on the left to serve as a tank, and then he drops the loons immediately behind it, knowing that those loons are going to hammer those defenses very quickly, and then hit that air defense right there on the left. And as soon as that one's down, that's it. I mean, there are no more air defenses now. There are some archer towers that he has to watch out for. There's going to be probably one more Tesla in the middle, perhaps, that might pop. I'm not sure if he got all the Teslas, but the loons are going down now. And here's the great thing. That archer is now hitting his barbarian king, so it's not hitting the loons. The loons are going to take out the archer. They're going to come down, and then that loon's going to die right there. But if you notice, all those storages right there just to the left of the core of the base, naturally in a normal raid, those storages would really slow down those dragons, and those dragons would be sitting ducks. But because the loon actually went down and took out all the defenses that could potentially harm those dragons, those guys have all day long to burn those storages up, and they can take their time and finish this raid out, and that's it. I mean, it's a done deal. Stranglehold 3-starred that base, and that was a respectable 3-star attack with some level 2 dragons. Guys, I hope that this attack strategy guide helps you out if you are a Town Hall 7 attacking in clan wars, and if you have some Town Hall 7s in your clan, tell them to come watch this video. I hope that Common Sense Clashing can be a great resource for you and those in your clan. Before you go, help our channel out by subscribing and by liking this video. And as always, this is John at Common Sense Clashing, helping you clash smarter, not harder.